Jason here for Map of the Month. We're really getting into our Africa map, and I think this is video number 4, I think. So anyway, let's see what we've done so far. We worked a lot on the Nile River yesterday, and you can see I've done a little extra work. I've colored around the inner edge of the country border, just to make those countries stand out a little better. You can see I used an orange for Sudan. Went right around that inner edge. And that makes the countries kind of stand out a little bit better. Okay, so they used yellow for South Sudan, Ethiopia. Oh, I'll demonstrate it with the Ethiopia. You can see how I'm just going to put a little edging of light brown on that border. That way the countries stand out from one another. And there are so many countries. There's over 50 countries in Africa, so we want them all to stand out easily as you're learning them. Another thing too that we have done is on this map we've kind of divided the continent into 5 regions, and it's often divided in many different ways, but we went with 5 regions, and we used a solid, a little bit thicker line to separate them, and we called this the West. This is the North, everything above. And then this would be the East, Central, and South. Okay, so what I'm going to suggest doing is, as we label our countries, I've gone over to the back, and what I've done is I've made a little list, several lists of countries, and I've divided them by region: North, East, West, South, and Central. And as we label our countries, I'm going to suggest that you write down the name of the country as you label it on the front. You can make a little list on the back. And it's easier to remember the countries if you break them up into smaller groups. Okay, so you'll see we can do that as we go along. But so far I've put Egypt, Sudan, and South Sudan in the north, and Ethiopia and Uganda in the east. Let's do one more in the east, just for the fun of it. We didn't get to all of them, but we could label this one Kenya, Kenya, Kenya. So that's in the east region. So I'll just write it once again on the back. It's such a big country. It's a lot easier if you start to think of them in regions. Okay. And like I said, the regions sometimes differ depending on what source you're looking at, but this is kind of how we broke it up when we made the map. Okay. Now I wanted to work on another river today, and you can see I've kind of put a faint line for this river. This is the Congo River. Okay, and the source is kind of way in the southern part of this country, right here. We'll get to that in a second, the name of that country, but it kind of comes up like this. It's called, well, the country is called the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I guess we could label it first. Democratic, Democratic Republic Republic of the Congo, C-O-N-G-O. Okay, so let's follow that line once again. Kind of comes up like this. You might have to go through some of the words. Kind of comes up like this, and then it joins. It kind of joins the boundary line between these two countries. So kind of follow that line right down to Kinshasa, which is the capital. I'll put a little red on that star. We're using red for the capital. I'm going to put that in the key just so remember that. Okay, so it goes down to Kinshasa, and then it kind of goes right into the Atlantic from there. Okay, it actually it's right along that border between Angola and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Let's label Angola to A-N-G-O-L-A, Angola. This little section right here is part of Angola too. I'm just going to put a little line pointing to it. I think they call it Cabinda, but you don't have to label it right now, but at some point if you wanted to, you could, but it's part of Angola. It's kind of separated by that little part of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. All right. Oh, and we could also label this country too, seeing it's she has a border by that river. Okay, and it's often referred to as Republic of the Congo, I think is the actual name. So I'm going to actually write Republic of the Congo, C-O-N-G-O. So very kind of similar names. One is Democratic Republic of the Congo. This is Republic of the Congo. All right. So I'm going to take my blue, once again, just like we did with the Nile, and I'm just going to go over that line. Now remember, you can always stop the video if you want and kind of catch up at any point. This is the Congo. So it kind of follows that. It's a natural boundary between these two countries. And it kind of comes right down. Here's the mouth where it enters into the ocean. You could put a little blue on the coast while I'm at it. We'll be doing that little by little as we go around the map. Whenever we do a coastal country, we could do a little bit more of the coast. All right. Let's see. Why don't we put... Now, these two countries are in the central region. Kind of in this central region. So I'm going to flip my paper over. And put them in the list. Democratic Republic of... It's a long name. Luckily we got plenty of room here. Try to space your columns out so you have room for some of these longer names. And then we got the Republic of the Congo too. And now we want to make sure we label that river. So let's find a good place to label. It's a long river. Maybe I'll start right about here. I'm going to use capitals for this very large river. Congo. There we have the Congo River. All right. And let's see, I can also color in the capital of Congo, Brazzaville. Okay, and why don't I pick another color? Now I don't want to use yellow because yellow shares a border with South Sudan. I used yellow for South Sudan. So maybe I'll go switch back up to red again. Or maybe dark, yeah, I'll go with a red for the inner edge of this. I'm using about 5 or 6 colors. You can see these are the colors I chose. Yellow, orange, light brown, light green, dark green, and red. So let's start doing a little bit of this. Now I just want to be careful when sometimes the names of these like this country right here, kind of falls a little bit over that country, that borderline. So I don't want to color too much there. I want to leave that white. So I'm trying to leave a little bit of white there. Okay, and I'll work my way around. I'll work on this. Go all the way around and come back and meet up here. Then I'll choose another color for the Congo. You can work on that also, but I think that's a good stopping point for today. We've got our second major river on the map. So we've got the Nile River, the Congo River. In the next video, maybe we'll choose one more river and get a little bit more of these countries labeled too. And then we might go into the Sahara, which covers a very large area of the north. Okay, thank you.